podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
I'm Gary Birtles, one of the old gits from a long time ago. You've got to tune into Tricky Talks, I believe, so just do it. All the best.
Robertson, the first time we've seen them attack them, and there's Francis! Well, that's what I wanted to see Robertson do. And still Robertson, getting his shot in, and a goal! Robertson!
Hello, welcome along to the Tricky Talks podcast as the international break comes to an end and we look forward to a trip to Liverpool this weekend. The whole gang is here, ready to get back into it. Chelsea, how are you? You're feeling a bit pixelated at the moment, I understand.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Sorry, I just need to learn to not say what's in my head sometimes. But yeah, I'm all good, thanks, Simon.
Yeah, technical problems notwithstanding, you should be good to go. Kate, you're here as well. How are you?
I am all right, thank you. Yeah, not bad.
And Molo, you're joining us as well. And pre-show, we were talking about murderers, weren't we? So, but we're not going to go into that right now. The things we get up to offline, eh, Molo?
Simon, but just talking about true crime activities.
Yes, indeed. Right, let's get cracking. We'll talk about Liverpool later, but we have to start with, I mentioned the international break's now come to an end, and of course England and Scotland have both qualified for the World Cup. Wales face a playoff, as do the Republic of Ireland, with Northern Ireland unfortunately missing out. Let's start with England though. Played 8-1, not conceded a goal. Elliot Anderson is undoubtedly the star of qualifying, I think. Just a quick word on him, guys, and also Morgan Gibbs-White's future in the England squad as well. Start with you, Chelsea. I think it's safe to say Elliot Anderson is a shoo-in for a place on the plane, to quote Anton Deck from their Saturday night quiz show.
Yeah, definitely. How he plays for club and how he plays for country is exactly the same. You cannot fault him at all. He looked sharp as always, and he makes himself available constantly, and he just done his utter best, and he does the simple things well, and you need him on your team, and to be in the England squad as well as being a Nottingham Forest player, you just cannot fault him. He's brilliant, and to hear everyone talking about him, I don't want them to talk about him too much. I don't want him to be too much in the shop window, but he most definitely is, and I don't blame them at all.
Well, he most definitely is in the shop window. I don't think there's any doubt about that, because when you get a very young, talented player, the sort of age of that Elliot Anderson is, he's undoubtedly going to attract, say, bigger clubs, but suitors who are going to be wanting to sign him. Manchester United has been mentioned, as has Newcastle, as has Real Madrid as well, I've heard, are interested in him. And I know John Percy did an article earlier this week mentioning the fact that his value is going to be upwards of 100 million plus. A good performance at the World Cup will only increase that value. Whereas you get somebody like Ben Jacobs who says his value is not going to exceed 100 million. It's going to be more like 60, which I think, personally, as a journalist, is totally inaccurate. 100 million plus K is going to be what will command in the transfer market, should Forest decide to cash in at some point between now and the end of his contract, which I believe runs till 2029. No buyback clause and no release clause either, so we're led to believe, according to Mr. Percy. So Forest hold all the cards at the moment. Obviously, we've got to get through this season. He's going to be here to the end of the season, but a good World Cup will certainly increase that value, won't it?
Absolutely will, and it absolutely should. And I think it's great that people are seeing his value, because we've seen it pretty much since he first set foot on the pitch at the City Ground. So, yeah, sky's the limit for his value, sky's the limit for his career, but he's our player just now, and he's going nowhere in January. And you've got to get through Marinakis to get him in the summer. So good luck, everyone.
Where do you stand, Molo? I mean, we want the best players playing for Forest to improve as a team and as a club. where do you stand in terms of his particular future? 100 million plus is a lot of money. I'm not saying let's have a conversation now about whether he should be sold or not, because that's kind of out of our hands anyway. But where do you stand on that? Is as Forest, as a general rule, should they be looking to cash in on that kind of fee, regardless of who it is, or should they be looking to do everything they can to retain him?
Well, I think first and foremost, you've got to look at similar sales that have happened in the past from other clubs for his value. And at the point, I'm not talking about how good he is now, but at the point Declan Rice left West Ham for 115 million, I would have put Anderson at the very least on a par with that player, just for context. I think if Real Madrid come knocking next summer, I'll just be devastated to lose him. But if we're talking 120, 130 million, and maybe a player coming back in our direction or building good links with them in some way, then and they're the sort of club that are going to pay that kind of fee, if not quite up front, over a much shorter time period than someone like, say, Man United or, well, I can't see any English club really affording him, to be fair. He would go with my blessing. That sounds stupid. I do not want him to leave. I want him to play for Forest until he can no longer play to that level. But if Real Madrid come calling, that's another level, isn't it? And I love Nottingham Forest to my core. To me, we're the best club in the world. But Real Madrid, do you know what I mean? If it was them, and there is talk about it, isn't there? Mm-hmm. And I think he's that good, he could do it. I'm not sure Spain would suit him as much as the Premier League, because that combative side of him wouldn't be as necessary over there, and that's one of the key parts of his game. Obviously, he has no weakness anymore, does he? You know, it's just now the odd goal.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe he needs to score a few more goals, if anything.
That's starting to happen, isn't it? It took a penalty to get other people going in the past, but his assists are there now. And I think ultimately, I really rate Adam Wharton. I don't like the things that have been written. I understand why Forest fans are going, no, look what he did in 15 minutes compared to 75 minutes. But that's a personality thing. He reminds me, and I'm not saying he's the same player, he reminds me of Paul Gascoigne in the way he just looks like he's having fun playing. His character is, he's never happier than when he's on a football pitch. Now, Adam Wharton's a terrific young player, but he's also quite a quiet character, and he will be an England player in the future, I'm sure, because obviously Elliot Anderson is going to pick up injuries, and he's a very, very good player. But the difference was the dictating of the pace of the game changed dramatically with the way Elliot plays and his confidence on the ball and everything else we talk about. And, you know, was it 80 million that they were talking about Wharton, who I genuinely think is terrific? Wouldn't it be great if we did have to lose him to Real Madrid for 150 million, say? Let's put a figure on it now just to make sure. And then we take Wharton for 80 million just to really wind up Palace.
Yeah.
But no, it's that kind of figure it's going to need, isn't it? Because we don't have to sell him. He's not the sort of guy that I don't think would go on strike to get his move. I think I'd be amazed if there's not a Forest fan over the age of 13 on the planet that wouldn't just say, OK, Real Madrid, wave him goodbye as a hero and be glad we've seen him for those years.
Morgan Gibbs-White, on the other hand, looks to be facing an uphill battle as it stands right now to make that England squad for the USA and North America. He has got a little bit of time in terms of the domestic season to regain his form and prove the manager that he's worthy of a place. But in terms of the number of England squads left to announce, there aren't too many left now. I don't know exactly how many friendlies they've got between now and when the squad is announced. Do either any of you guys know? Is it one or two squads left? Is it March and then a provisional squad in early June, something like that?
I was going to say it's round about that.
He's naming a long squad, he's called it, hasn't he? So basically he's named probably about 30 players. So it's key that he gets into that.
Yeah. Right. Also, Scotland have qualified, as we said at the top of the show, for the first time in 28 years, as it will be by the time the tournament comes around. They haven't qualified since France '98, I mean, the game. I saw the end of the game, and the 3 terrific goals they scored against Denmark. But scenes, wasn't it, Chelsea? I don't know whether you saw the game. It was absolute scenes when that long shot went in over Schmeichel at the end. But I mean, you never like to see Scotland do well, or do you, Chelsea?
I'm not a particular fan, to be honest. My dad is, though. He goes, "Oh, I love their national anthem." I'm like, "Great, what about their football?" Yes, but hey-ho. But no, I was a bit like you, Simon. I caught the end, and then I watched the highlights. I mean, McTominay's goal, the first one that went in, that was like every time you've ever played football when you were little, you dream of scoring a goal like that, isn't it? It's like that 6-year-old him, that was for him, wasn't it? I absolutely loved it. But that last goal that went in, that was it. If you don't shoot, you don't score. And how it was just Scotland's miracle happened for them that night, and you can just tell everyone's going crazy on social media, and rightly deserved, because they did play well.
It's interesting. I think the fact that they've qualified probably gives them a decent shot of at least making it out of the group stages, because is that a sheep?
Yeah, it is. He's called Molo.
Did you just say out loud, Simon, Scotland getting out of the group stage?
Well, that's the thing.
Stop it.
Under any other normal circumstances, you'd probably put their chances at 0 getting out of the group. But there's a format change to the World Cup where you've got many, many groups of 3 rather than the standard 4. So, and obviously the top team will go through, plus you would imagine a certain number of second-place teams would also progress somehow. So you'd like to think, given a favourable draw, they'd have a decent opportunity to get out of the group. But, I can't see them lasting much in the competition, Molo, can you?
It's Scotland. We know what's going to happen. Let me just state, as a country and as a people, I love Scotland. It's a fantastic place, wonderful cities, wonderful countryside. But when it comes to the football, I love watching them fail time after time. Because let's be fair, you talk to any Scot about England, and all they want to do is see us lose. And the only skin in the game we've got is Angus Gunn. I'm the same for Wales, really, in a sense, but slightly less so.
Is going to the World Cup now. Come on, Molo. Scott McKenna is going to the World Cup. You've got to be pleased.
I'm a Forest and an England fan, not a Scott McKenna fan.
It's funny you should talk about him, because when I was doing the prep for the show today, I was thinking, shall we each of us name our combined England-Scotland first 11 made up of solely Forest players? And I was thinking, who ever. And I was thinking, okay, what Forest players have played for Scotland? And I couldn't think of anyone beyond Scott McKenna and John Robertson and Archie Gemmell. And
who'd be in my team? John McGovern, and he never played for Scotland.
No, exactly. So I was thinking, is it really a worthwhile exercise? Because most of the players in that first 11 are going to be English anyway. So that's why I didn't do it in the end, because counting the number of Forest players who played for Scotland, just couldn't get beyond the aforementioned names. But
can I just quickly say, you watch Molo pull out Scotland on his sweepstake for the World Cup. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen now.
You know they're going to call England as well, probably.
Just a quick note on Wales, though. They do face a playoff. Kate and Brennan Johnson scored for Wales in their magnificent, was it six or seven goals against whoever? Just a word for Wales. They looked decent last night. I don't know who yet they're going to be facing in the playoffs, which are going to just be around the corner. But given that form they're shown at home, they must surely have a decent opportunity to progress. And they are a team you would like to see in the World Cup, aren't they, Kate, given Nico Williams and Brennan Johnson playing for them?
There is that, isn't there? But then equally, I would also like Nico Williams to be sat on a beach with his feet up over the summer. So, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Brennan Johnson, sure. But, yeah, I mean, I do have a soft spot for Wales. I don't know how you can be a Forest fan at the moment and not have a soft spot for Wales. But, yeah, let's hope they get through. Let's hope they do. Let's have as many home nations in there as we can. I'm not massively into the internationals. I'll certainly watch it, and I would always want England to win over anybody else, but I'd happily watch a few Wales games.
And of course we can't forget Dan and Doy and Matt Sells, who've both also qualified through Switzerland and Belgium respectively, although neither played. They were both unused substitutes in their last qualifying game, but they shall be at the World Cup too. And we have John Victor was also an unused substitute in Brazil's 1-1 draw against Tunisia, albeit that wasn't a World Cup qualifier. And Ibrahim Sangari was an unused sub in Ivory Coast's 2-0 win against Oman as well.
Oh, man.
The draw, of course, is on Friday, December the 5th in Washington. And I don't know whether you guys have heard, but Donald Trump is partaking in that draw, I believe. And the Washington Commanders, American football team, want to build a new stadium in Washington. And Donald Trump wants them to name the stadium after him, which is an absolutely ridiculous idea. But even more ridiculous, I'm sure I read somewhere that if the USA were to lift the World Cup and win the World Cup, Donald Trump wants to be the one to lift the trophy. Can you imagine how ridiculous? But I don't think the USA are going to win the World Cup, so I think we're all safe from that one. But right, okay, moving on. Or unless any of you guys want to finish off with some World Cup comments.
Go Cape Verde.
Go Cape Verde.
All I'll say is the World Cup has been ridiculously cheapened this time out because of the number of teams, the new format. We know it's all about the money, and Kate's made the point already about Nico. Well, there's going to be 46 teams now. If you don't qualify for a World Cup, you must be utterly crap. So, as I say, likes of Cape Verde and co, it's ridiculous. And two bob teams like Wales, Scotland, Ireland, they're just not needed if you want to keep the quality.
But which means the ticket prices are astronomical for the World Cup as well, aren't they? So it's going to cost a fortune for the England fans to travel wherever they're based in the US, England. I think it's going to cost an absolute fortune. So I hope attendances don't suffer too much as a result of that, but we shall see. Right, we're going to move on then to a quiz that you've got lined up for us, Kate, this week. We do one every show, of course, but we've got a little bit of an extended quiz this time around, haven't we?
We do. Yes, I've had good fun coming up with this afternoon. So I've got 3 questions for you. I think 2 of them are pretty tricky, and one of them's quite easy. So I'm gonna hit you with one of the difficult ones first, and please do feel free to talk amongst yourselves, ladies.
Yeah,
and
help
gentlemen.
me.
David Campbell. Oh, sorry.
What? Okay. So here we go. Who scored the most goals for Nottingham Forest, and this includes the Cup and the League, out of the following 4 players? Grant Holt, Radoslav Majewski, Ryan Yates, and Roy Keane. So I'm looking for who scored the most, and you can get bonus points if you can put them in order of first, second, third, and fourth.
Okay, so given Raddy's a midfielder and Yates is a midfielder, and Grant Holt's striker, and Roy Keane, Roy Keane's a midfielder, I'm going to say Raddy's is probably bottom of the list, followed by Raddy, followed by Keane, followed by Holt.
I'm going to go.
So tell me that again. Who do you think's first?
So
Simon? Who's the top scorer?
My gut says Grant Holt, but then...
So Grant Holt, you're going for number 1.
Is that a red herring because he's the only striker? Followed by Keane, followed by Raddy, followed by Yates, is my guess. Feel free to disagree, Chelsea or Mollo.
I'm going with you on Yates.
So Yates at the bottom, are we agreeing? Chelsea, do you agree?
Yeah, I'll go, but I think Majewski first. I don't know why.
He scored a hat-trick for us.
I can't see him scoring more than Grant Holt or Roy Keane, though.
My concern is... So Roy Keane scored about 14 or 15 goals one season, and about 12 the year we got relegated, and I think he was our top scorer. I can't remember how long we had Grant Holt before. Grant Holt played left wing most of the time and was garbage. He went to score a ton of goals at Norwich.
My answer's going to be this. My answer's going to be the same as Mollo's because he's the encyclopedia.
No, this is a toughie because this is mostly players from our dark days. I'm trying to forget, not remember. Right, I'm going to go Keane, Raddy, Holt, Yates.
Are you sticking with Mollo?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure now, thinking about it, Grant Holt is a red herring because it would be so obviously him, given the fact that he's the only striker out of the 4. So I'm now wondering if he's...
Right, okay. Do you want your answer now for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I would say to all three of you is you should never underestimate Ryan Yates. How very dare you?
I'm sorry, Nick.
That is disgusting behaviour, and you consider yourself all told off. Right, okay, so top of the tree with 33 goals, you have got Roy Keane. And then second, with 26 goals, you have got Grant Holt.
Wow.
Then you have got my man with 22 goals. How very appropriate. Ryan Yates. At the bottom, Radoslav Majewski. Although, did we not love him? I loved him. He was awesome. And with 19. So there you go.
Okay, interesting.
I'll give you...
Good question. I like that one.
Yeah.
It was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised Holt scored that many. Because I remember we wasted him, didn't we, as a winner?
Yeah. That's why he left in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on then. Question 2.
Question 2, I'm going to give you an easy one. Okay? And I'm crediting Fodder's quiz for this one from pre-match. Okay? Which Forest player has played the most minutes across all competitions this season for Forest?
Just for Forest.
Yeah, so for Forest this season, so far, which Forest player has played the most minutes across all competitions?
I'm going to go for Nico Williams.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same. 'Cause I don't think he's... Because he hasn't missed a game.
It's got to be Nico. The only game he missed was the Swansea game, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Who else? Milenkovic has played most of the game, doesn't he?
Anderson has only missed Sturm Graz, hasn't he?
Oh, or is that Milenkovic?
And Swansea.
Oh, did he not play Swansea? Milenkovic. I wonder if he's played every game.
I know, that's
or
what
did
I
he
was
miss
thinking.
Swansea as well? No, Milenkovic missed Swansea as well because they had Jer Cunha and Willy Bolly on for the second half.
I'm going to go
Did
the
he come
first.
on?
Ah,
And it's a cake quiz, so
Yeah, there's going to be a little twist, isn't there?
props for Nico.
Yeah.
well, my initial gut feeling was Nico Williams.
That was mine as well.
Yeah.
Same, but now I'm thinking
Are you thinking too much?
Nico. It's got to be Nico.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's only missed Swansea. Go on, Kate.
Of course it's Nico Williams!
Yes!
We were trying to second guess our way out of that one, weren't we?
I thought Chelsea for a moment was going to...
Watching you talk yourselves out of it.
I thought Onyi again.
Big T. Big T. Okay. Now, apologies in advance, Chelsea, for this one. Okay. But have a little bit of fun with it and see how you get on. Okay. So, I am looking for which Forest manager earned the most points in the league out of the following: Frank Clark, Paul Hart, Billy Davis, but I'm only counting his first tenure in this question, okay, or Stevie Cooper. Okay, so again, I want which one got the most points out of Frank Clark, Paul Hart, Billy Davis in his first tenure, and Stevie Cooper.
Any division.
And bonus points for putting them in the right order, 1 to 4.
I've got number 1.
Right, so you've got Steve Cooper, Paul Hart, Frank Clark, and
Billy Davis.
Billy Davis.
In his first tenure only, not counting his second one.
I'm going to say at the bottom, Paul Hart,
Same.
followed by,
Steve Cooper.
yeah, then Billy Davis, then Frank Clark.
Same. And the reason that we've got to have some justification for this, mine is Frank Clark had 2 absolutely magnificent seasons where we got a stupid number of points both times. The third season, I think we finished 8th-ish when we were in Europe. And it was only the following season where he probably only had about 8 or 10 points by the time we went. So that's 3 big seasons. Paul Hart had 2.5 seasons, 1 average, not average in the way what he was doing, but in terms of points total, and 1 very poor and 1 good. I can't remember Billy Davis's 2 seasons now. I'm trying to remember the playoffs. So that wasn't Swansea season, was it? My brain's gone. Which was a playoff season? Blackpool. Where we got...
I'm not giving any clues.
We finished high up, third, weren't we?
But that was the only... he wasn't in charge for Yeovil. That was Calderwood.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in charge for Sheffield United, and that was because that was Hart. So Billy Davies only had one good season.
Yeah, in one
spell.
He got a lot of points to keep us up when he took over from... Would it have been Calderwood he took over from? Wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think
got
so.
A lot of points to keep us up. Then he got us in the playoffs against Blackpool.
Steve Cooper was only in charge for...
One big season, plus a championship season, plus a bit of a Premier League season. So
I'm going to have to rush you a little bit now.
Yeah, okay. Go on then.
A little bit.
Clark, Davies, Cooper, Hart. Oh, you said first spell only, though, didn't you?
For Davies, yeah, first tenure only.
I think
Chelsea, any variation on that?
No.
Fair enough. Okay, so I think you're going to be surprised. So coming in at number 1, just on his first tenure, 184 points for Billy Davies.
Was it really? Wow.
It was indeed. Oh my goodness. Coming in at number 2, Paul Hart with 158 points.
I apologise, Mr. Hart.
Then your third place, 145 points, Mr. Clark. And then everybody loves him still very, very much, 134 points, Stevie Cooper.
Wow.
Just shows, doesn't it?
Do you know what I think it is as well? I think it's about how much we loved them. And I think the difficulty as well with like Frank Clark is we were looking very much at league and we had a lot of success across a lot of competitions, which can sort of skew your view, if you like, as to how successful they were. But yeah, I just found that really interesting to look at those and yeah, not always quite what you would expect, but there you go.
There's stuff based on Frank Clark having 2 massive seasons, one of which was in the Championship where he played more. That's the other thing, of course. The other 2 of them mostly in the Championship where you play all those extra games.
More games.
50 points gets you comfortable mid-table in the Prem, but if not upper mid-table, 50 points in the Championship, you're fighting relegation potential, aren't you? So, I guess, yeah. My maths thinking was, how many seasons was Billy Davies in for the first spell then? That's what shocked me.
180 odd points, it's got to be at least...
It's got to be 4.
3 or 4.
But I suppose 2 bits of season and 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember what happened in his other season?
I had it all written, all my little stats spreadsheets up, but they're not what I've written down. I've just written down the answers. Yeah. But I'll send it you. You can have a look. It's
good stuff.
It's riveting.
Right, good stuff, Kate. Hope you at home had fun playing along as well. So next up is an FPL plans. Now, there's no actual... we haven't got any games to report, have we, Chelsea? But you wanted to talk a little bit about FPL.
Yeah, I was just interested to see if anyone's making any changes, have made any changes, using any of their cards, their chips at all. Anybody?
Well,
only Wednesday.
It is. It's you should never be making changes on a Wednesday. That's the first rule of FPL. You should always wait until you hear the team news from press conferences on a Friday. You should never change before then. I
know people who have. And I think exactly the same as you lot. I've warned him and I've said, don't do it yet. And I even think he done it last week, I believe. I was like, how do you know about injuries? But
you don't. And the good FPL manager, Chelsea, would never reveal their plans prior to the deadline either.
Oh, here we go. The wizardry's happening with Simon.
Yeah, 2 transfers to make, and quite a few of my players are yellow, telling me that they may not play and they might be injured. So I am going to do the thing that I always do with FPL and think about what I would like to do and then look at Simon and Mollo's team and see what they've done and decide what I want to steal. So there you go. That's how I play.
It's going to come now. We're going to be changing it like 90 minutes before kick-off of the
Well,
first
the
game
thing
now.
is you can't see anybody's changes until the deadline has passed and the game refreshes. So on that basis, Kate, you will always be playing a week behind.
I'm okay with that. I still think I'll do better than if I do it myself.
Do you know what, Kate? I didn't think about that, Kate, and I'm going to be following suit. So me and Kate are going to have the exact same teams.
If I'm 2 points ahead of Simon going into the last game, then I'm going to be looking very closely at his team.
Well, to give you a clue, what I'm going to be doing is I've got a flag on Gabriel of Arsenal. Semenyo has got a flag, as well as my only 2 injury doubts. But I've only got 1 free transfer. And
me too.
Because we don't yet know how long either of those 2 players are going to be definitely out. We know Gabriel is probably going to be between 1 and 2 months. Semenyo, we're not sure.
Yep.
I won't be taking a hit this weekend. I will only be making 1 substitution, 1 free transfer. I'm not going to get rid of one of those 2 players. I'm going to keep, but 1 I will get rid of.
Well, you can stick one on the bench, can't you, if you've got a strong enough bench? But
yeah.
You lose 4 points if you do that, don't you? And half of my players don't get 4 points these days.
Yeah, if you make more than your allotted number of free transfers for that week, you do take a hit. So I was going to get rid of Reinders, but now I've got those 2 injuries. He will be staying for at least another week, maybe 2, depending on how bad those 2 injured players are. But I shall definitely be making 1 transfer. Now the question is, okay, I'm gonna let you into a secret. It will probably be Gabriel I'll be getting rid of because he's out between 1 and 2 months, right? So the question is, do I go with another like-for-like replacement, Arsenal defender for Arsenal defender, or do I go for Virgil van Dijk, who's got a really good, favourable run of fixtures coming up?
How dare you say he's got a favourable run of fixtures 3 days before we go there?
Well, I'll let you into a little secret later on. I'm not predicting a Liverpool win this weekend, so favourable run of fixtures beyond this weekend, I should correct myself and say.
The thing about him is he always plays, he gets his fair share of goals, but I do think he's definitely on the downward slope compared to where he was 2 years ago.
Fixtures over form, I would say, always. Right, what about you, Chelsea? What did you say you were doing?
I've got absolutely no idea yet. I keep looking, and I've only got 1 free transfer, and I keep looking and trying to decide who, and I don't know yet. And I think my head's gone.
The name of that defender.
Who? Which one?
The guy who played against Forest, the Arsenal side that we'd never heard of.
Calafiori.
No, the centre back.
Yeah, I know who you mean, but I can't remember his name either. That everyone was suddenly talking about.
I'd never heard of him, and then they had this guy playing who looked like, peak whoever, Gabriella, whoever it was he was in for.
God, what's his name?
I think was it they got him from Lille or somewhere. I can't remember now. I wonder if he'll get a run or whether Calafiori will drop into centre back.
Calafiori has also got a flag as well.
He does.
Yeah, are you talking about Masguera?
That's the guy, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 5.4 million could be a bargain if you're tempted. 5.4 current price could be a bargain, especially if you're downgrading from an injured Arsenal defender.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Somebody
saying.
told me they were going to put Morgan back in. But they think he's upcoming. Somebody said they were going to. I'm not saying whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. I did have him at the beginning. I don't know.
Well, I think with the players he's currently got behind him, I think he will come into form. He always comes into form around about this time of year anyway, doesn't he, to be fair?
Right. Anything else, Chelsea, on FPL?
No, that's all the FPL. Well, I do just want to say that I have had Anderson in my team for the past 4 or 5 weeks now as well. Has anybody even put him in?
I dropped him.
I'm close.
I put him on the bench last week.
Yeah. If I need to free up some funds to buy a premium midfielder, then I will be seriously considering Anderson, if only for DEFCON points.
Yeah,
but I'm not quite at that stage yet.
He's been in mine from the start, and I had 3 full Forest players at the beginning, but he's the only one that's remained.
See, the only one that's worthy.
And I'm sticking with him.
Well, let's hope he can put in a good performance at Anfield this coming weekend as we face a trip to face the current league champions, who are on a rather suspect run of form at the moment. Of their last 6 games, they've won 1 and lost 5. Not in the league, that is, not including any Champions League games. And they currently sit 8th in the table, having won 6, drawn 5, scored 18, conceded 17. They haven't drawn yet in the league. But I'd take a point now, to be honest with you. But I will let you into secret in the podcast prediction league. I think I've said it before. I am going for a Forest win. this year, because I think there's no better time to play Liverpool. They don't appear to be the same Liverpool as last season. And we need to do a little bit of catching up in the podcast prediction league. So I'm going for a Forest win this weekend. Is it too much, Mollo, to ask for 2 wins in a row in 2 seasons at Anfield?
It's a lot to ask, but it is typical of football that you wait all these years for something and then it happens twice. My concern is, yes, their form's not great, but their home form's still not bad. If you take the Crystal Palace game out of it, when they got beaten at home, they've not looked too bad at home, have they? They've lost a couple, but I do worry. They've not lost many at home, and they're a wounded animal, aren't they, at the moment? And they've had time to sort of regroup as a club, albeit they'll have had a lot of players also out on international duty. It's a lot to ask, Simon, but here's hoping. I'll be there, win, lose or draw.
They do have a Champions League game to play next Wednesday against PSV. It's at home for them, so they're playing a day before. We don't play Malmo next week, do we? We play the week after, so they have got that fixture to consider as well. Oh no, it is. No, sorry,
Thursday.
They're playing the 26th of November. Beg your pardon, against PSV. So that's not. Is that next week?
Yeah.
Yes, it is next week. Sorry, yeah, I've lost track of time.
Too many holidays, Simon.
Yeah. Isak's not exactly set the world alight and has spent a lot of time injured. Wirtz, the other big name signing, has not produced the form or the returns that is expected of him. Frimpong has been out injured as well. They're looking a little bit shaky in defence. Salah is probably the standout name that hasn't performed this season, and if you've still got him in your FPL team, then you need to have a think about that. But is this a good time, Kate, to play Liverpool?
Of course it is. Best time ever. Do you know what I'm going to enjoy? The singing. That's what I'm looking forward to about going to Liverpool this weekend. I am going to be all over those chants. We have got some doozies lined up, so I'm going to enjoy that. And you know, interestingly, I saw something on Twitter in the week that had a list of the worst signings of the season, and Isak was in that. So was Amari Hutchinson, which I didn't love. Didn't think it was quite on the same level of disappointing. But you know what? If you're going to play Liverpool, you might as well play them when they're in a bad run of form. You know, it is. There's no other way of looking at it. So yeah, they are on a bad run of form. This is pretty much as bad as it gets in terms of runs of form for Liverpool. So yes, this is the best time to play them. Does that mean I think we're going to win? No, it doesn't. But it does give me hope that we can. And I am going, and I'm going to have a really good day. I'm going to enjoy the trip. I'm going to enjoy the singing. I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy the stadium, but we go anyway. And let's see what we can get. I actually love that you've predicted us to win in that podcast league, regardless of your thinking behind it. You know, we're Forest fans. We should always believe that we can. And I think we all do believe that we can. We're just not sure that we will. And you know, there are a lot of things that Liverpool aren't doing as well as they normally do at the moment. So, and we do have Sean Dyche and his team, and I have no doubt that tactically they will be on point. And let's have a go. Let's go and have a go. Why not?
That's the thing. You say tactically on point, and they certainly were that last season, weren't they, Chelsea, when they had Elanga and Hudson-Odoi come off the bench to create a bit of a surprise to Liverpool in terms of how the team adapted to those changes, and it certainly caught Liverpool out with a late goal. Do you think they'll do the same again this time around, given the fact that obviously they don't have Elanga, but do they have the personnel and the first 11 in place to warrant the same kind of tactics? Or do you think they will go for 2 wingers regardless of who the personnel is that's selected? Interesting one, isn't it? You don't want to leave yourselves too exposed, do you?
I do think 2 wingers is probably the best. I think catching them on the break is probably where we will thrive the most, I would say. To be honest, with how Liverpool are at the moment, they are a little bit more erratic, I would say. kind of mirroring, I suppose, how we are at the moment. Like you said before, Simon, we never really know what Forest team we're going to see on the pitch at the moment. Going, obviously into the international break with a win, obviously boosted, hopefully, confidence and morale, and hopefully that will carry through. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I think I wish I had Kate's positivity and optimism for the game, but unfortunately I don't. I mean, we've done it once, so we can do it again. But yeah, I'm just a bit nervous for that game. I don't expect us to win. And I don't want any fan to kind of jump on the bandwagon going, oh, we've lost again, and, go on about Dyche, because I don't expect us to win this game. And I'm sure a lot of realistic Forest fans don't, but only time will tell.
Is it a free hit, Mollo, do you think? Given the fact that most pundits and fans will probably expect Liverpool to win, but given Forest's position in the league and the fact that they need to pick up as many points as quickly as they can, do you look at it as a bit of a free hit or not with this one? So any points they do get is a bonus?
Absolutely, in terms of points we get are a bonus, but I think we're going to compete. I think he'll start with Ndoye and Dominguez wide. Excuse me, this dog talk's making me sneeze. I think it is a bit of a free hit in terms of anything we get is a bonus, but I do think we'll compete. And I think Yates in the middle of midfield upsetting him as well.
Bless you.
Will be okay. Better than my sneezing. Excuse me.
There's a legend in Liverpool.
Yeah, you mentioned that team. But they are Anfield, and Liverpool away is traditionally accurate tonight, isn't it? So
yeah,
we should see.
Do you want to give us a score prediction then, Kate? We'll let Mollo sneeze himself away.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough because I want to be positive and I want us to win.
Head or heart, Kate? Head or heart?
Do you know what? It's been an international break and I cannot wait to get on that train on Saturday morning and head to Anfield. I've really missed it this past couple of weeks, so I don't care if I am a fool. I am going all in and I'm saying we are going to win 1-0. Yeah, come on.
Who's going to score, Kate?
Come on, Chelsea.
Who's going to score?
Yeah.
I did it twice.
Oh. I'm going at the other end to where Kate is. I'm going to say a 2-1 loss.
Who's going to score?
For Forest, not Liverpool.
Yeah. No. Nico Williams.
Against his old team. He's done it once, hasn't he? He can do it again. Excuse me, Mollo.
I hate to sound negative, and I hope I'm wrong, but I do think Liverpool are a wounded animal, and they've regrouped. I think, although we will compete, because Dyche will have it no other way, I think it'll end up 2-0 to Liverpool.
Little anecdote about listening out for final Liverpool Forest scores. Years and years ago, do you remember the years we played them in the FA Cup semi-final? I think it was the first time around, not the Hillsborough one, and they played them something like 3 times in 10 days. They played them in the league at the City Ground and won 2-1. I remember listening to that on the Radio 2, I think it was back then, and I've got the recording of that game on the cassette tape somewhere. And then they went and played the FA Cup semi-final the following week, and unfortunately that was the game they lost 2-0, I believe, wasn't it? 2-0, I think, or 2-1, yeah. And then they came and went up to Anfield to play the return league fixture, and that was pre-internet, I don't think I even had CFAX or Oracle in those days on my TV in my room, and you had to wait to the 5 to 10 sports desk on Radio 2 to find out the score. And here I was sat by the radio waiting for the score to come through, and the reporter read out the score and went Liverpool 5, Nottingham Forest 0, and I just went absolutely so deflated at hearing that scoreline, because it was in the days where Forest didn't often lose 5-0. And then I obviously saw the highlights on the TV in the midweek sports show, but that was the worst feeling I can ever remember in finding out a Forest score well after the game had been played. Obviously, nowadays you can follow it on your phone and social media and TV and whatever. But that leads me to my prediction. I'm going to go for a second consecutive 1-0 win away from home. And I'm going for a Dan Ndoye score, a goal this week.
Interesting.
So we shall see.
Right. That 5-0 you just mentioned there, Simon.
Yeah.
Like the sane, okay Liverpool fans of our kind of age and older rate that as their individual best performance of all time watching Liverpool. Because in context, although I think we were a very young side at that time, in context they were playing, we were third in the league, weren't we? And going there, when we beat them 2-1 at Forest, it was comfortable. I was in the Trent end that day when Webby scored. It was
Webby, yeah,
unbelievable. And and then losing at the semi-final was horrible because we were never really in it, were we? And then to lose 5-0, they absolutely annihilated us. And if I remember rightly, Steve Sutton played quite well in goal as well. Otherwise, it could have been worse.
Yeah,
sorry,
indeed. That's right. Right, any other business, Kate? I know you wanted to bring something up in AOB this week.
Yes, I did. I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat about Halo, which for those of you that are aware will have seen there was a lot of stuff on social media about. For those of you who aren't aware, Sky Sports launched a channel on TikTok that was supposedly dedicated to new young female fans and empowering and encouraging them into the sport, which on the surface sounds okay, doesn't it? Sounds okay. And, you know, I am very much an advocate for women in sport, women being heard, and forums in which for them to feel comfortable to do that. However, this was not done well. So for a start, we had pink, peach, sparkly lettering to our lovely Halo logo. Okay, a lot of people like pink sparkles, and that's fine. I'm not saying that I am against them, but it does smack of stereotyping, okay, which kind of makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. The biggest issue that I had with it was on launch. It was described as being the little sister or the lil sister to their main channel. Okay, I'm a little sister. Talk football with my big brother quite a lot, but we do that talking on an equal forum. And when you use the term little sister, that smacks of hierarchy to me, and it does not flatter. It does not give status, and it does not give value. So I had a real issue with that. And the deeper I delved into Halo, the more I disliked it. Saying something is being aimed at new young female fans also suggests that we are only just realising that there is sport in the world and we can talk about it. Well, I'm 45 years old and there's been sport in my life since the day I was born, and I am not afraid to talk about it, and I am perfectly comfortable talking about it in the main forums with other people, okay? I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with people wanting to talk about it in female-led forums either, but it has to be pitched right, because if it is pitched wrong, then it is a massive step backwards to how other people are going to see our right to talk and our, I don't know, needs to be there. And the only example I can give of that is when Chelsea sent me a message some months ago to ask me if I would like to come onto Tricky Talks. I was absolutely buzzing when I received that message, and it was fantastic to be asked to do this, and I'm absolutely loving it. But there was no aside to that message. There was no, we would like you to come on Tricky Talks. And you and I, Kate, as the women, are going to have our own little section about halfway through where we explain the offside rule using egg cups and Prosecco bottles for all the people to know it. Okay? That's not what I was asked to do. I was asked to come and talk about a sport that I love and a team that I love on an equal field with some other people that also like to talk about it. That is so important. And that is what Halo should have been. It should have been empowering women to do that and feel comfortable with that. And they just got it wrong. When they pulled their channel, their statement was, our intention for Halo was to create a space alongside our existing social channels for new young female fans. When you use the word alongside, you talk about segregation. We listened. We didn't get it right. As a result, we've stopped all activity on this account. That's a good thing that they listened. It's a good thing that they're admitting that they didn't get it right and that they pulled it. What they didn't do was apologise, because it does have ramifications. And it has ramifications for how comfortable people feel as women talking about football. And actually, we need to make sure that more women are comfortable. And we need more things like Tricky Talks, where we are on an even playing field, and our views are encouraged and respected for us as football fans, as Forest fans, not because or in spite of the fact that we're female. That's
and challenged on occasions.
Challenged, yeah. Who does that, Molo? I don't know. Who does that?
Well said, Kate. Is there anything you want to follow up on that, Chelsea?
Yeah, no, I think it's just one of them things. I mean, when I didn't really know too much about it, I think it got sent to me, and then I was at work, and you think, oh, I'll look at that later. And I think it was just one of them things where it was just unnecessary, wasn't it? Really, you know, it doesn't need to be a section for women and a section for men. You know, football is football. Women play it, men play it. And I'm one of these people where it just, again, it was totally unnecessary. It didn't need to be done in that way, or even done at all. Let's be honest. Everyone should be all on the same platform, talking about the same thing, which is football. Again, there's no man, there's no woman. We are just human beings. That is what we are. We are all in the same boat, talking about something that we love, and that's just where it should have stayed. I do think that they could have just put out an apology. You know, it would have been the done things too. And even if they just said, do you know what, we hold our hands up, we got it wrong, we do apologise, wasn't our intention. Because I don't think there was no harm meant, but it was poorly executed, and it was just totally unnecessary, and they could have saved themselves and female football fans all the aggro that has been caused. And yeah, I just echo what Kate said, really.
I would imagine Ellie probably had similar thoughts, didn't she, Mollo, in terms of what the guys have, what Kate and Chelsea have said.
Yeah, you can be fairly sure Ellie had strong thoughts and made them known on social media and directly under whatever it was on TikTok. I think she left a comment, and on their other group. So yeah, I mean, it's just daft, isn't it? If there's people who know about football, there's people who know a lot about football, and there's some people who aren't greatly versed on football, but it's irrelevant, the gender, whatnot, isn't it? Like, you can imagine the debates happening in our house these days with Ellie living here at the moment while she's waiting for a house. And we don't agree on everything, and obviously she's wrong and I'm right, but in reality, she's, you know, her knowledge of football is decent, even though she's never played the game as such properly. I think it was just bizarre, poorly executed. It was like that watching something put out on a Barbie film, like trying to take the mick. I remember, I think I said earlier, that the idea of it sounds okay until you actually look at it. It's so wide of the mark, it's untrue. But I'm going to say fair play to Sky Sports. They took it down very quickly and recognised their mistake. But as Kate said, there was we apologise for any offence caused or anything like that. It was literally, we got it wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's interesting that what's come out since, that the Sky Sports staff that were kind of shown this is what it's going to be, being launched later or whatever, they were like, what on earth is this? And, you know, you think Sky Sports has an awful lot of staff there. And when I visited there once, it was 50-50. In fact, the day I was there was probably more female than male. They must be thinking, hang on, we've been working this organisation, we put all our effort into this, and they come up with this. Whoever came up with it probably has a different project to work on now. Probably not at Sky.
Yep. Right. Chelsea, Mollo, any other business you want to bring before we draw to close?
Nothing specific.
Roll on the weekend.
I know.
Yeah, we shall be back with a review of Liverpool next week, and we shall look forward to that game against Malmo next Thursday. In the meantime, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you soon. Stop.
podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.